books were always up to par with her writing in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah, she's a well-known translator of Italian. And so, one of the first questions I had you look at, so can you share your answers? Why did Lahiri, if she's an English language writer and all her books were in English and she's completely fluent in English, why didn't she translate her own book from the Italian into the English? Why did she ask Anne Goldstein to do that?
Because Lahiri wanted her Italian work to be as raw as possible. She asked Anne Goldstein to translate into English just so she wouldn't feel compelled to have to switch her whole brain over to English again and try to polish it. She wanted it to be really raw and real. So if she had translated it herself to English, it would have taken that rawness away and would have made her polish the work, but she didn't want to do it.
Yeah, well said. She didn't want to be a perfectionist, and she didn't want to, try to, as you put it, I like your word, polish it up, and change what she had already written in Italian to make it better or to make it different. So she wanted the certain freedom to have somebody else read her work in Italian and use their voice in the English. So I think I couldn't have said it better. How long? The second question: for how long has Lahiri written exclusively in Italian? Then, how long did it take her to write this book?
She stopped speaking English like for a little bit because she wanted to like exclusively focus on Italian, so her work would be like the best possible it could be. So she's been doing that for almost 2.5 years, and I don't think in the front cover it said how long it took her to write the book, but I would assume like a couple of years because it's like well done.
Yeah, and what was interesting is then before she even attempted this experiment, she was reading and writing only in Italian. She didn't read any English, and she didn't write any English, and she did that for about 2 years. Why did she do that? What did she want to accomplish by that?
She wanted to fully immerse herself in the language so she could think the language and live the language and surround all aspects of her life around language, not be distracted by English.
Yeah, I mean, that's rather, I've never tried that. I mean, even when I was living in France, I have to say I came close to not seeing much English at all, and I was living there for a year, and I was dying to get some English language magazines or English language books. This is pre-digital world, you guys, so I couldn't just go on a website and read my news in English. So they certainly had newsstands where you could buy the International Herald Tribune, and you could get English language copies of various magazines. And I have to say, I kind of like couldn't wait to get my stash because I missed my language. I missed my connection to my language. Has any of you been away from English for a while? Yeah? So what was your experience?
I went to France for a summer and I stayed there.
Wow, a whole summer?
Yeah.
And so did you miss being able to express yourself in English? Yeah.
I knew French pretty well at the time, so I could express myself in French. I just miss speaking English.
Yeah, because you were speaking French and learning French from what, age 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but was it a relief when you were able to speak with your American family
and
again?
my family came back. My family visited me for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I could speak to them
Yeah.
in my own language again.
So it was a different experience. You were doing homestay with a French-speaking family, and did you find that your ability to communicate, even though you knew the language, was it different than the way you would communicate with your own family?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the emotional connection. So, well, that's interesting because not everybody has had that experience. All right, so another question. We talked about if she had translated the book into English, what would have been the linguistic cost to translating it herself?
It would have like broke her discipline of learning Italian, so it would have made her like switch over, which would have been like, it's kind of like the switch. It's like just switching over and going back to speaking and writing in English would have been like her not. It would have distracted her from using Italian, which would have been, so she wanted that discipline of and she wanted to keep going through the struggle of learning Italian and doing it and translating her own work into English would have broke that discipline.
And oh my gosh, she seems like a very disciplined person, doesn't she? Yeah. What did you want to
So
add?
I think that she felt like it constrict her from like using certain words that she felt like she couldn't translate in Italian to English, and she found that she wanted to just write in Italian and find someone to translate it for her, because if she just felt that that word can't translate, I can't find me, I'm just not going to use the word. But if that's the word she's feeling, she wants to write and use.
Yeah, I like the way that you talk about translation. It really is an art, and she chose Anne Goldstein because she had been translating some of the most important works of literature from Italian to English. It really is a skill, and she had just gotten confident after a few years of only reading in Italian and speaking in Italian. She didn't want to have to break not only the discipline of Italian, but she didn't want to have to search for that right word because she was feeling it. I think you just said that. She was feeling the word in Italian. She didn't want to lose that connection, that emotional connection. But also, oh my gosh, doesn't she seem extremely disciplined? What do you think? I mean,
I don't think it's easy to like discipline yourself like that extremely, because I mean, losing your like native tongue, like I guess English you can call her like native tongue, is like difficult, obviously. To not even speak it like by accidentally, and just like that discipline just shows like how committed she is to like this writing, because I think she did it just for that reason.
yeah, I think when we meet her on the tape, doesn't she seem like a person who's just totally
Yeah.
committed? Yeah. So, all right, well, now I want to do a little experiment with you because we're talking about feeling and the connection of language to feeling. And you guys know a good amount of survival French. So I want to do a little experiment where if I say, let's talk about my favorite verb. What's my favorite verb? Manger. And my favorite thing to do is to eat. And I'm totally obsessed with food. And so why don't we talk about, I'm going to say to you in French, hey, let's go eat at a restaurant. And so I want you to use the verbs. What verbs have we been working on? We've been working on 3 verbs. Can you tell us the 3 verbs we've been working on? Pouvoir, which is to be able to. Devoir, which is gotta. I gotta do something. And vouloir, wanna. So things you wanna do, things you gotta do, and things you can or can't do. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a verb, and so I'll say, oh, let's go eat at a restaurant. And then if I say the verb pouvoir, I want you to say in the best French that you could muster, I can't go. Or if I say vouloir, yeah, I don't want to go. Okay, so either you can't go or you don't want to go. So let's see how it goes. First, let's try on the French. So how are you going to say I can't go? Everybody? Oui, je peux pas. Répétez, je peux pas. And then I don't want to go. Everybody? Je veux pas. Okay, so I'm going to start, and then I'm going to say a word, and you have to give me the negation of it, and then you ask somebody else and give them one of the verbs, either vouloir or pouvoir. So let's go around the circle. Okay, so I'm going to start. Okay, monsieur, allons manger au restaurant. Pouvoir.
Je peux pas.
Okay, now you do it to mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle. Alone au restaurant. Alone au restaurant.
Je veux pas.
Okay, say it again. I didn't hear you.
Je veux pas.
Okay, je veux pas. Okay, now ask monsieur.
Alone au restaurant.
Okay, say it again.
Je peux pas.
Je peux pas. Okay, maintenant tu poses la question à Charles.
Alone au restaurant.
And now vouloir.
Je ne peux pas.
Okay, vouloir.
Je veux pas.
Je veux
Je veux
pas.
pas.
Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Allons au restaurant.
Je veux pas.
You're putting in too many pas. So je veux pas.
Je veux pas.
Okay, c'est bien. What are you saying, je veux pas? What does that mean?
I don't want.
I don't wanna. Yeah, I don't wanna. Now, give him the command. Let's go to the restaurant. Allons.
Allons au restaurant. Allons au restaurant.
Je veux pas.
Okay, and now can you ask mademoiselle?
Allons manger au restaurant.
Je peux pas.
Okay, but we can't hear you with your hand here.
Je peux pas.
Je peux pas. Okay, maintenant on pose la question à mademoiselle Béatrice.
Allons manger au restaurant. Je veux pas.
Okay, je veux pas. Et maintenant, say it to me.
Allons à l'école.
Oh, allons à l'école. À l'école, she switched it up. Je peux pas. Hein, je peux pas. No, je peux pas. Okay, so when you, that little experiment, and I know it's early in the morning to be code switching into another language, but when you say je peux pas, répétez je peux pas.
Je veux pas.
Je veux pas.
Je veux pas.
Even if you put some oomph behind it, because I'm insisting that you do a little theatrics and you don't have a lot of energy in the morning, does it feel the same as if I say it in English? So let's try it. I'm going to say, come on, let's go eat in the restaurant. Come on, let's go down the street and eat lunch.
I don't wanna.
She says, I don't want to. Now I want you to say you can't. Let's go. Come on, let's go get lunch.
I can't.
Okay, I can't. Okay, let's go eat lunch. Come on.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. Come on, let's go.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. Okay, come on. Let's go eat lunch.
I can't.
I can't. Okay.
It's an act.
Hey, you want to go get lunch? I don't want to. Okay, so when you speak in your own language versus when you're using your second language, French, does it feel emotionally different to you? And if so, why? Yeah.
Well, like, at first, like, we've only been learning French for, like, a year and a half, and, like, I feel saying it in English feels better, because it kind of feels like we're, like, dissing off the other person and sort of, like, saying, like, I don't wanna, but, like, saying it in French sort of just seems like we're doing, like, something that, like, Miss Pritikin just wants us to say.
So
like,
it's more mechanical.
yeah, I just feel like we don't really, like, understand French as well, so I think saying it in English just feels better.
Yeah, because you have a connection, right? You have a
Yeah.
connection. What? Anybody else have anything to say about that little experiment? What do you think?
I mean, I think it's refreshing speaking in French because my mom took it. Sometimes we talk together, so I think it's kind of refreshing speaking in French. But I also feel like in English I could say it in multiple different ways and have multiple different voices with it, which can like tell the other person how I'm feeling, like what I really don't want to go, or I just like not up to it.
So you can really put your whole self into something. With we talk about intonation is as important as accent, right? So I think that yeah, you could kind of really convey your feelings in your mother tongue better because you have tone and you have certain expressions, and your friends kind of know that voice of yours. Whereas if you're using a new language, something that you're new to and you only have a couple of years or a year and a half with, you're not as comfortable.
Well, like, I learned Hebrew for like 10 years
Oh,
in
yeah,
middle
tell
school,
us about
and I feel
it.
like when I say it in Hebrew, I actually like have that connection because I've been learning it for so long, and I learned it like every day.
Oh,
So like when I
yeah.
say I don't wanna in like Hebrew, I feel like
Oh,
I
see?
can, yeah.
So you have another second language,
Mm.
Hebrew, but you feel connected because you were
So,
learning
like,
it from the time you were how old?
4 or 5.
4, kind of like Lowry with Bengali, right?
Mhm.
That she was speaking it. So, you know, I think that as we get further into the book, I think you're gonna be able to, you know, understand what her experiment was. And we'll be able to see, was she successful in her experiment? What were the trials and tribulations? What were the frustrations? Oh my gosh, I lived only a year in another country, and I can tell you, I guess I shared with you that I kind of like to swear, right? I like to cuss, and I have to say, you know, whenever I got upset with somebody and I wanted to really, you know, get my point across, I reverted to my own language when it came to swear words. Just didn't feel right in French, and so, you know, just as that experience when I really wanted to find a way to express myself in other ways, I think Lowry is going to kind of take us through the various phases of her experiment. So, yeah, we'll have to we'll be able to share how we thought about it as we go through the book.
Okay.
It won't stop.